In the previous pricing nugget, we looked into why you unconsciously, almost hypnotically, love a price. Today we look into why you unconsciously hate a price. Let's find it out. The last time we learned about implicit egotism, and this pretty much means people like to be reminded on themselves and like the objects and subjects that remind them a bit more. And implicit egotism is the reason why the birthday number effect works that we discussed last time. But the birthday number effect is not the end of the story. What else can you do with implicit egotism in pricing? The effect that we are going to discuss today is among my favorite psychological pricing effects, but I'm pretty biased here because I found this effect with a friend of mine. We hypothesized that the reminder does not need to be about oneself. It could also be about a social group that you identify with. And it does not need to be something pleasant that you love, but it could also something that you don't love, maybe even a bit hate. What did we do? We live here in Germany, therefore we have a study in the soccer space. In Germany there are two clubs that are well known for their rivalry. Borussia Dortmund and Schalke. Borussia Dortmund has a logo with BVB09 and Schalke 04. So both clubs have a number in their logo that is well known to their fans and well known to the supporters of the other club. Either club has a strong fan base that vividly supports each club, but the fans of one club do not like too much the other club. So what did we hypothesize? We hypothesized that supporters of BVB09 like a price that ends in 09 much more than a price that reminds them on their arch rival that ends on 04 and vice versa. We ran a couple of experiments and we found out that if the price is changed from 1904 to 1909, by the way, it is the same as the founding year where 09 and 04 refers to. The price liking and the purchase intentions for the items in the study were much higher. So BVB09 fans like a price much more when the price ends in 09, like these prices much less if the price ends in 04. You notice that although the price is higher, supporters of BVB09 like the price more. The opposite holds for Schalke 04 supporters. If the price is 1909, they like it much less, and if it's 1904, they like it much more. So, behind the scenes in a research project. So we submitted our paper to the journal and they replied back, guys, these effects are too strong to be true. And by the way, you did it with experiments, not with real transactions. Can you please run a study with real transactions? Okay, this is what we did. A few weeks later, there was an open house event at TU Dortmund University. The university is located in BVB09's hometown. So what did we do there at this open house event? We set up a booth and sold waffles with two different toppings, either powdered sugar or cinnamon sugar. We offered either flavor with a price of 104 or 109. And we changed the prices half-hourly. When the customer bought a waffle, a research assistant would hunt him down and ask him, are you a soccer fan? And if so, for which club? And usually the customers were pretty confused. And even when the research assistant pointed to our sign where we had our prices for our waffles and told them, okay, I'm asking because the price is 09, you might be a BVB 09 fan, do you see any relationship? And we found out here this effect works 100% unconsciously. No single customer got a relationship between the price ending and the customer being a BVB 09 supporter. So what did we find out? We found out when the price was increased for BVB 09 fans from 104 for cinnamon sugar waffles to 109, the share of topping choice doubled from 22 to 44%. So we increased the price, and you could also argue the price difference is marginal, so you should actually buy the topping that you like. But no, customers who were BVB 09 fans would rather buy the topping that reminds them on their favorite club. Unbelievable. Almost. And this is how we found the sports team number effect. And by the way, this is not only about sports teams. This is about reminding customers on a social group they associate with or identify with. And this is about something pleasant to be reminded on and something unpleasant to be reminded on. What happened afterwards? If you write about an emotionally loaded topic like soccer in Germany, you draw a lot of media attention. And in our case, we found that 2 regionally leading newspapers picked up our research and either wrote from the perspective of a Schalke fan or of a BVB fan about our findings. This is a very fun anecdote after our research. But now let's look into some practical implications. What does it mean for us as a retailer? The most obvious use case might be you have knowledge about a specific region that has a specific affinity to a specific number, and you set your prices, for example your regular prices or your promotional prices, according to this affinity. For example, in the San Francisco Bay Area, you might let your prices end in 49 because the density of San Francisco 49 supporters is higher than the average US. Or you let your creative juices flow and you think about numbers that are associated with something pleasant. Then you need to think about, is this a general affinity or can I identify customers that are very much likely to share this affinity? And then you target these different prices, regular promotional prices, or even the discount value. You show a number that people should like to this targeted customer group. And this is what you could do as a retailer. I hope I can leave you with a spark of inspiration today. And if you seek more inspiration on pricing or psychological pricing, join me at pricingnuggets.com. I see you there.